Welcome, Internet, to the PixelPlay Podcast. It's a video game podcast. We get together every week to talk about video games with our friends here, Adam at CS Radical and Chris at Gin and Chris. This week is a special romantic episode, as one of us, Mr. Chris at Gin and Chris, is getting hitched this week. He's currently, at the moment, probably just...
Right here.
He's right here, but he's also not. He's actually at his wedding. So congratulations, Chris. Good job. I don't know. It's kind of weird with you being here, but
talking about. It's clearly next week. I changed my shirt and everything. Like, I don't know why you guys are
both
wearing the
same. Oh yeah, you did change your shirt. Oh man,
clothes. That's so weird.
The magic of
I was just saying, like, y'all just must have done your laundry and then put them right at the top of the shelf again. I don't know.
I only own the same shirt, but 30 copies of it. It's
it's like the episode of
it's like a true NPC.
Yes.
I'll stay here. I'll be in the same clothes. You'll be in different clothes. I forgot to ask, where do you guys all fall on Seinfeld? You guys pro Seinfeld, anti
I've never
Seinfeld?
watched it.
I like it a lot more now. I like it now. When I was a lot younger, I did not get it. I didn't get it. I was like, I don't understand. As I'm older, I'm like, oh, it's like they're adults and this is like stuff that adults see, and I get it now. It's like Frasier. Didn't get it. Now I'm like, it's the funniest crap ever.
Yeah, I'm a big Seinfeld fan. But yeah, so Adam, we're kind of like recording this in a different time, but Adam at this time, Adam or Chris at the future, congratulations on your wedding. Hope it's all going well. But yeah, we're professionals, so we're going to come to you every week. So with that being said, what have you guys been playing? I'm going to be honest, I've been playing more of the same. Surprisingly, my opinions are a lot the same as they were last week. So
what are you talking about? I finally started to get through Cyberpunk.
You lying son of a bitch.
No, you're right. I was playing The Last of Us.
If only. If only.
So, with this being the week of Chris's wedding, we thought we'd have a fun little topic and talk about some of the best, or at least most iconic relationships in video games. Which ones we like, which ones we think are overrated. Just generally talking about some of our like the biggest relationships in gaming, and just kind of riff on that. So, yeah. With that being said, let's jump into it, guys. So I guess to kind of get started, like, what are some of like the video game relationships that like you guys think are like iconic, or what are some of the best relationships in video games, or some of your favorites?
Adam, I know you have the most. I feel like you should go first.
Well, I mean, there are some that I didn't list because I don't consider them relationships. Like, a lot of people will say, "Oh, Mario and Peach." I'm like, are they though?
Oh, Princess Peach is such a tease. That's not a relationship. She's just using him and stringing him along.
Link and Zelda. I'm like, that's not necessarily true either.
Oh, I love their will they won't they in Zelda. That's perfect. Like,
will they won't they? That's the next Zelda game coming out.
I mean, the correct one.
Zelda.
Everyone knows the correct one is Fox and Crystal from Star Fox Adventures.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
No, I want to circle back. Let's go back to to Peach and Mario, because that relationship is so toxic. She's like, "Help me, Mario! I've been like kidnapped again." Like, she keeps going back to this bad relationship all the time, saying, "Boo-hoo, Mario, come get me." He comes and gets her, offers him cake. Have you ever seen cake? Pretty sure it's euphemism, but like, I don't know. I don't see him getting any cake, if you know what I mean. Like, yeah, Princess Peach is just stringing Mario along.
Yeah, Bowser shows up in his pickup truck. Peach gets all like, "Oh, maybe he's different." And then they disappear. Yeah. Mario's a good guy. He goes to get her. It's very toxic.
Like, now that we have Rosalina in the world, like, who needs Peach anymore? Like, Daisy was already like good enough, but like now you got Rosalina. You even have what's her face from?
No, he's not going. He's not going for Daisy. He's not going for Daisy. Mario is a true bros before foes, guys. So like, him and Luigi are solid. Like
you're right. He was going for Birdo.
Birdo. I mean.
Let's be real.
It took me a second to also think of like the Wendy Koopa.
Wendy Koopa, Toadette. She has hair naturally for some reason.
I was thinking
about this for a second.
Is the mayor Paula? I think it is.
Oh, Paula, yeah, she's a human-looking person, and that's the girl he saved in Donkey Kong. It's his first person that he loved. I don't know, with the story in a 1982,
there's some shit
like,
that's going on. Like there's like an true Hollywood story about that relationship that we still don't know about.
Can we talk about this for a second? Has anyone ever thought of what do you think the Toad people smell like in in the Mario Kingdom, like they're a fungus. Like I think they smell earthy. Like they smell like hippies like living out
Well,
of
I
a
mean,
van.
I think
you know
they
Mario and
smell
Luigi
high
are
all
fine
the
with it.
time.
They're plumbers. They smell shit for a living, so it's fine.
It's true.
True.
It's true.
That's true. But yeah,
I
no,
just
the,
imagine-
the kingdom smells like shit. There's no way it
Oh,
doesn't.
But between it smelling either like reptiles on the Koopa side or it smells like mushrooms on the other.
Now I understand. Peach isn't getting kidnapped. She's just trying to leave because she's sick and tired of living in the smell. It's
But
not
then,
much
like, have
better
you
in
never-
the Koopa Kingdom, but it's still better.
It's just a change. Like, have you been
It's
to an
just-
aquarium before? Like, it's not like go to Reptile Aquarium. It does not smell great there.
No. No.
And then Zelda,
So
yeah. Sorry, go ahead.
I was just gonna say the entire Mushroom Kingdom. It just sucks. It smells like everywhere.
Mhm.
Where
And
do you
it
go?
doesn't seem like a really great, like monarchy there. Like how often can the princess get kidnapped? Like at
Weekly.
some point they'd be like, yeah,
Apparently
exactly.
every single time.
And then Zelda is the true ultimate video game will they won't they? Because has it ever been suggested that they're romantically interested in each other? Or is like Link just doing this out of like altruism and nobility?
Maybe a little bit in Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom, but it's still very will they, won't they?
But
Mhm.
even then, everybody knows that he's going to end up with Sidon anyway.
Mm. Maybe even just Ganon. Maybe that's what this is actually all about.
I mean, either that or he's going to go the death my snoo snoo with Urbosa. I don't know.
Oh yeah, the snoo could be. That
Is that
could
like
be.
the giant? Is that the giant fairy?
That's the giant Gerudo.
Hmm. What's the like?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, the giant fairies. Maybe that's who he's
saying,
really after.
Those are the most suggestive in that.
Oh, extremely. In Breath of the Wild and Tears
Well,
of
yeah,
the
because
Kingdom,
like
they
in
upgrade
Ocarina
your
of Time,
equipment.
like wasn't there like dialogue literally just like almost like moans essentially?
Dude, you got to play Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom. They up that like crazy. They
Oh, it
upgrade
goes
your
I don't
really
equipment.
high.
have to. No.
Oh, they upgrade your equipment by
tried.
pulling you into the flower and then make the moaning, and then you're just laying there afterwards, like exhausted. It
It is really awkward. playing, like,
extremely suggestive, but you get better climbing outfits. So
I
you-
was playing
Link
that
does
game
what he
beside Jen, and I was at the ferry, and all I hear is, and I'm like, this is not the game you think it is, Jen.
it's way worse.
So wait, you
And then
get
she
pulled
looks
into
over
a
and sees just
flower
like-
bed by a giant fairy, and then you get a climbing outfit. Well, I guess it makes sense because you probably went up on her.
Oh,
Oh man, this episode's gonna go so bad.
This
I
is
was
the
like, what-
romance episode, everyone.
When we were proposing this, I'm like, this episode is gonna get weird and creepy. So,
I mean, look,
and to be honest, Adam, you were my number one concern.
you should know better than. All right, fine. I'll put the first serious one out there. Nathan Drake and Elena Fisher from Uncharted.
Damn it! Damn it!
Nice.
You stole it from me.
That is a good one. That is a good one. Especially like Uncharted 4 when the graphics could match the relationship when they're just sitting at home playing
Well,
Crash
and I think
Bandicoot
that's
for some
honestly
reason.
why I liked that game the most, and honestly, like the only one that I would ever go back and replay because I think it actually had something that I could actually cling on to as being genuine. Because like the other three games to me just didn't. I don't know. There was something missing, and I think with the idea of like Nathan Drake finally settling down, but then still yearning for something like. I felt that, so I think that actually got a lot, and obviously that first little bit where, you think he's on an adventure, but in reality he's just, fishing shit out of a lake, and then eventually going to his house where, he's reliving his glory days by playing with Nerf guns, and then trying to, beat his wife at Crash Bandicoot while eating mac and cheese, like that, that's the kind of shit that's relatable. So I think that's also why I connected to that more, and that made that game a lot easier to get into. But again, like it's been obvious even since the original games, like how that relationship was going to build, and obviously having 4 games to do it. I don't because I've never played the side game that they did, so I don't know if there's any
Lost Legacy?
continuation of that in there. But like,
You're talking Lost Legacy or the yeah. No, I don't think she's in. I can't remember if she's in there or not.
and
I
like
don't
you hope
remember.
that if they continue the series on, maybe even with their daughter going forward, like that there's still something more that they can add to it with them being in an even older age, where they're now retired, and now you get to see whenever you see them, it's specifically in they're together and look at how they're they're getting along still kind of deal. Whereas now, I think what's the daughter? Was it Cassie? That their
I think
daughter's
so.
I
name
think
was?
Cassie. I think so.
But like now you're getting her perspective of it, where she's the one that's that's having all the adventures, and now they're just on the side, just finally getting to relax with the fruits of their labor, aka all the fucking crimes they've committed. But hey, we don't talk about that.
Hundreds,
Yeah.
hundreds of hundreds.
Elena's awesome. Like that relationship is so cool, like really cool. Although she puts up with a lot of shit. Like I imagine it's being very frustrating being married to Nathan Drake because like he's like, hey, I'm going out for milk, and he's like out in Madagascar, being towed by an armored vehicle. Like she's sitting at home being like, what? Where the hell is he? Like
My cereal needs milk.
He comes back. He just puts this like ancient artifact that's worth millions of dollars, and she just goes, okay, but where's the fucking milk?
Set you up for milk. Also, Elena's super hot. Like, let's be real. Smoking
True.
hot. Yeah.
Very true. Very
Yep.
true.
Yeah, no, Uncharted Nathan Drake and Elena was one of my top picks. But once again, like I said, Nathan Drake is kind of toxic.
Yeah.
She can
He's
be
the
better.
Bowser of Uncharted.
I mean, to be completely honest, though, how many perfect shining examples of a husband and or wife even exist in most games? Because they intentionally make them overly flawed because that's how you tell stories.
True. It's true.
That actually, go ahead. Go.
No, I was gonna say you go ahead if you had one that you wanted to mention.
Just mentioning that in games, usually there's not a lot of married couples. It's usually people, romantically involved or just meeting. Like it's always that. I do actually have one where the couple was married, and it's one of my favorite couples in video games just because of the story. Assassin's Creed Origins, where it's what's her name? I think it's Aya. Yeah, Aya and Bayek of Siwa.
Yeah.
Yeah, I loved theirs thing because it's like they're married, they have a kid, and then obviously tragedy strikes, and the two of them almost separate but are still together in a way of that they're both working towards this goal, and they kind of have to sacrifice things, but they meet every so often. And it was just like such an intense relationship, I thought, and the way that they presented it, because it's not something you normally see where a couple gets stronger, like more distant apart physically, but like stronger somehow between the two of them, and have to go through all of this stuff to make change. I'm trying to like not spoil the game and everything, obviously, as I say this, but I just thought they were such a very cool and powerful couple that like Bayek ended up being one of my favorite assassins that I've ever had in one of the Assassin's Creed games. Like I just thought he was so cool, because normally it was like, oh, Ezio, oh yeah, he's a ladies' man, okay, cool. Or either it was like somebody was a ladies' man, or they like loved somebody but they couldn't be with them or whatever. Like this was just straight up a married couple that went through shit together, and obviously ended up becoming assassins and all that kind of crap because of it. Like just such a cool concept, I thought, of a different approach to relationships. And I thought, I don't know, I just find them very, very, very cool.
Nice. Yeah, honestly, that was a relationship I forgot about. But yeah, when I played the game, I was like, that's really like a really cool way that they do that, like relationship married kind of aspect, and how you can tell that they still cared for each other, but just it was like they couldn't overcome that tragedy. So I agree.
Yeah.
For me, probably one of the best, like not best, but like one of the most thought out kind of like relationships or anything in there was the Witcher series, especially Witcher 3. There's like so many options. Now everyone's gonna be like, oh yeah, like Geralt and Yennefer. I never got the whole Geralt and Yennefer thing. Like she seemed like she never was interested, and if oh yeah, she's toxic as hell.
She's the Bowser of the Witcher universe.
But I mean, they're all cool. Like, but there's so many different options and stuff. But like, I know like Yennefer is supposed to be like the main one, and if you read the books, she's like supposed to be the one. But even that's kind of weird in how that relationship kind of started and how it's kind of held together. But I've always been I always thought Triss was the better relationship option for Geralt. Like, she genuinely seemed like she liked him, was interested in him. So I was always pro Triss. So, but yeah,
nice.
Yeah.
Yes.
Where did you guys? Did you guys play Witcher 3?
Witcher 3, I would have gone. I went the Triss route. But that's also just because, like, to me, like, Yennefer was the most basic look to me, where I'm like, you're not that interesting visually, so like, you're someone with bright ass red hair. That's already a win right there.
Yeah. I definitely have slept with everyone in The Witcher 3, and I think I'm going to get that ending where I end up with no one.
Yeah.
I mean, like, if I had an actual choice like, not counting Ciri because for obvious reasons being with Geralt, but like, what was the one, like the short hair blonde girl? Was it like Vice or
Kira?
something like that?
There's
Oh,
Kira Metz.
Yeah, Kira Metz.
No. She was like a much more minor character. She was like a soldier with like, she was like a tomboy looking girl with like blonde hair.
Oh, the soldier girl. I can't remember her name. Yeah,
Soldier
I know who
Girl.
you're talking about. Soldier girl.
Not related to Soldier Boy.
Vess,
No.
there we go. I was almost dead on.
Yes. Mm.
Yeah. No, I was
Yes.
always I just thought like Tristan and Geralt had better chemistry, and yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a good one. That's a good pick.
Yeah.
I actually had that
Oh.
one on my list too.
I think that's something I find though with a lot of games though, where like, especially if it's games that allow you to like, let's be honest, sleep around because that is the desire for a lot of gamers. But I find that more
There's a
often
joke
than
there.
not, like I end up being more interested in the people that are more like minor characters compared, because I think they spend so much time trying to sell you on the more major characters that I'm like, but these people are cool too. They're like, yeah, but like, look how awesome this one character is. And I go, I know, you won't stop showing me. You're kind of killing it for me. Anime is really horrible for it too, where they try to like really shove one character in particular down your throat, being like, this is the one that should be going with the main character. And I go, yeah, but that's like the least interesting character because you literally show me everything within the first episode and I'm learning nothing about them now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Adam, what's another one you got?
Yeah,
What's
what's
another
one you got?
relationship?
Well, I'll pull the first one out that's a choice-based one, because I actually end up finding it hard to find relationships that were actually like either pre-established or were singular, like, and it was just designed that way in the story. But because a lot of the games that I end up playing tend to be more of the choose your own routes, especially from like when the heyday of my gaming experiences, like a lot of JRPGs and this entry with Mass Effect, the main one obviously being for most people, I would imagine Shepard and Liara to Sony, the Asari that you first can take a crack at in the first game. Because normally you would say Tally because that is the correct one, but Tally's not an option in the first game, so you go with whatever else is there. But honestly, because I also think too with Liara that because there's, you know, that growth of her going from this very meek and like mild, like very well-mannered individual to the absolute almost cutthroat badass she becomes over the course of the trilogy, really makes that a much more interesting journey. Because like, again, Tally is the fucking best, but Tally basically stays the same all the way through the 3 games for the most part, whereas Liara has like a substantial amount of growth as she essentially like loses everything around her and eventually just goes, fuck it, I'm taking everything back for me, and then just becomes an absolute fucking killer and really changes things. So I think that to me, like, I could literally just pull out like so many relationships in Mass Effect and go with that. But like out of all of them, I would probably pick Shepard and Liara just for the growth that actually comes over the course of the trilogy rather than others. Because like in the same vein that they gave you new options in the 3rd game, which to by that point is like the chances of you going with any of these new choices is so unlikely because you've had 2 games already to establish yourself. And I mean, come on, who really wants to sleep with Freddie Prinze Jr.?
Freddie Prinze Jr. now or Freddie Prinze Jr. then?
Well, I mean,
Freddie Prinze
Jr.
it's essentially steroided up Freddie Prinze Jr. in the 3rd.
Freddie
game,
Prinze Jr. in
so-
space.
No, I want Freddie Prinze Jr. and Scooby Doo. That's the only option. Nice. That's a good pick,
Yeah.
Adam, though. That is a good pick. Mass Effect. I'm surprised I actually didn't put that on the list because that's just relationship the game in space.
It's just a giant orgy in space, which is
It
really
is.
what space
No,
travel's
it's
all
not.
about.
It wouldn't let me have that option.
That's New Game Plus, my friend.
No, that's just Rule 34.
For another one that I've got here, I'm sure Adam, this is one you've thought of. It's another choice one where you get to pick between, I think, just 2 people. But it's Life is Strange: True Colors. I'm not sure if Adam you had this one, but Alex and Steph. I found that's the one I went with. Yeah, Alex and Steph was the 2 to go with. That game I found, I think Adam, you felt pretty much the same. Like that game just like hit different. Life is Strange was always like a good series, but never like hit huge home for me. Like I've never played even the second one or anything like
yeah,
that.
like the original was more the mystery to it, whereas True Colors, it definitely felt like I want to be there, and 2, I wish I could hang out with most of these people.
Yeah, like it actually felt like they just built like this small town, and there was like a little bit of mystery, but it was more about like characters and all of that, and it really did hit different. And obviously there was a couple different relationship options and everything, and
No, there weren't.
just, well, yeah, I
There
know.
was
In
only
the
one.
end, there was
Let's
one.
be real.
There was one, and we chose correctly. But yeah, it's Steph and Alex. It's just the two of them work together. I mean, it's this utopia of a place. Like, I don't understand how Steph is running a record store and a radio station when there's like 19 people that live in this town.
Well, didn't
How
you
the
play
hell are
Lake
you
Chris?
keeping
The same
afloat?
thing happened. Why is this one
Yeah.
woman opening up a VHS store in a town of like 20 people?
Yeah. You're not going to survive. Yeah, the money is not going to be there. Not enough people. There's only one person in town that owns a vinyl record player. Like, I don't know what she's going for here.
It's a front. It's really a
It's a
front for
front.
money laundering.
Yeah, it's actually it's Grand Theft Auto 6 is actually a sequel to Life is Strange True Colors for sure. But yeah, I just thought that relationship was so good, and it was like, I don't know, it's more like a Hallmark movie or something, but it just hit different. I thought the characters were well written and the relationship felt genuine. I never tried to pick the other relationship. I don't care. It is not canon. So that's what
If
matters.
they made a much different choice, like I can't, like, I'd have to go back and play it, and I probably do want to go back and play it at some point again because I really did love that game. But like, I can't even think of a side character that I would maybe slide in there if I had to, because I think like it's just the idea of like, if you're looking at it from the perspective of somebody who is very much a lone wolf kind of character, very much like hipster kind of chill level to her, and then there's this girl who basically is runs a record store and like runs the local radio station where she plays a bunch of indie music. Like, that's literally designed for Alex Chen to go after. So like any other decision, it's basically saying, do you want to like actually go with what's proper, or do you just want a big muscular dude to crawl on? To which I'm sure a lot of people would go, yes, please. But in that case, I'm like, it's not even a matter of like even my own like personal biases. I literally played through that game and went, this is the choice I would make anyway, but this makes so much sense too to just throw Alex into this because they literally are designed to be next to each other. They try to play it like, oh, they're just best friends sort of deal in the early going. I'm like, no. You're not fooling me with this. Like, these two are absolutely together even before they've even like noticed this yet. Like, they 100% are. Just get on with it. I'm insulted that you guys are even giving me the option to go with anybody else. Just no, I'm not doing it.
They went LARPing together. It's final. They're together now.
That's serious.
Kaylan, what's another one you got?
I'm gonna go with a little game called Stardew Valley, and that game has lots of relationships aspects to it. Did you guys play Stardew Valley?
Oh, of course.
I tried it. For some reason, it's just that's one of those games that like I could never get far enough into to do anything of real value to it. But I can't wait. I hope that this is the one episode that a bunch of people watch for some reason, because the comments will be lit aflame for this.
So, Chris, question for you: which romance option did you go for Stardew Valley?
I can't even remember her name, but the blonde girl. The like addicted to shopping blonde girl. Like so stereotypical. She's not even the one I liked the most. It was just like, this is what I'm going for. This is her. She's addicted to shopping. Doesn't seem like she's going to treat me really well. This sounds like the person I need to be with in this game.
Is it Haley?
Haley. I think it's Haley. Yeah.
Yeah.
What about you, Kaylan?
So I like go back and forth between, I think Leah's really cool because like she's like the artsy kind of like down to earth kind of person. She seems basic, which is kind of cool and really appealing. And then there's the obvious answer, which is Abigail, which is basically really just an e-girl. Like, she literally is just a giant nerd and
like, it's been a while since I've looked at it. I just scrolled through like the cliff notes of the profiles. Yeah, that's 100% where I'd go.
Like, she
and
like when you end up like romancing her, like you get like a drum set in your house, you get a video game console, and she comes with like a sword. Like this girl
This is way
would
up
be
my
on
alley. I
Twitch
finally get a
streaming.
drum set in a house and I can actually use it so I don't bug anybody. This is
Yeah.
literally everything I can ask for.
This girl would be streaming hardcore on Twitch, like on Saturday.
yeah.
She'd have the RGB like light up PC set up right beside you. Like, yeah.
Oh yeah, as an Easter egg, she has a Chrono Trigger poster in her room. That's not official because obviously it's not
Oh,
thing, but it's in there. Like you can see Chrono, like as a poster in a
Oh.
room right above her Super Nintendo.
oh,
She's the one
JRPG,
I
let me-
would have gone for.
Let me see. JRPG, she's out. All right.
She's out. Chrono Trigger. Oh fuck.
I talked to Adam enough about JRPGs. I don't need another one to talk to you about that.
Just me?
You
Yeah.
are Abigail in disguise.
Yeah. But yeah.
Well, speaking of JRPGs, I guess that means I'm up next. Well, so I might as well finally just get to it and get the most important Final Fantasy relationship out of the way so that, I can make Chris a little bit upset that he doesn't get to do it anymore. But everybody needs to talk about Sarah and Snow from Final Fantasy 13. I can't even say that with a straight face.
Oh my god, my brain.
I have
But
idea
no,
what you're
I would
talking
go
about.
with Tidus and Yuna from Final Fantasy X. That would be
Yeah,
the
I got
easy
that one too.
There's a bunch, but like that's the one that stands out to me personally. I mean, it's one of the few times that there's an actual like kiss on screen too, because Final Fantasy, well, Japanese RPGs in general tend to stray away from that because, as a weird side note, especially in anime, but this also happens in a lot of video games too, with Japanese developers, they intentionally do not showcase a kiss for any of the female characters because it gives the perception that they are now taken, and they really do like keeping it that way of the mystique that they haven't had their first kiss yet, so their creepy fans can still think that there's a chance with these
Well, they won't be.
non-real fictional characters, but that's its own episode for another day. But no,
It's no. That is not an episode. We're not going down that rabbit hole on an episode. That is not an
I was gonna say,
episode
that
for
is-
another.
all right, so on the
That's
day that
another
you're not
episode.
here,
When are we
Kaylan.
filming that?
That's another episode for another podcast. Go start that podcast. Adam. I
but
did
yeah, like
not want to get into that one.
Tidus and Yuna from 10, that's probably the most interesting relationship in a Square game, I might even say. I don't know, Chris, if you can think of one that's beyond that. But like that's the one where I think like the stakes were highest at one point, and then there was an actual bit of loss that needed essentially a secret ending in the follow-up to actually resolve, because, and I don't care that I'm spoiling a now 20-plus-year-old game, but Tidus dies because he's essentially not even a real human being at the end of the first game. So the entire buildup of their relationship ends up being completely dissolved. So it has that bit of like, you see them slowly get together and then realize that this is only going to go badly. And that's the kind of juxtaposition that the entire second half of that game is anyway, because you realize what you're leading up to. Someone, whether it's Tidus, whether it's you, like you realize at some point someone's going. Like someone is going to pass away before this thing is done. It's just a matter of who, what, and why. And it's just that idea of you even as the player, like there's like the first time I played through that game, I almost didn't want to finish it because I knew what was going to happen. And it was just that thing of like, you hope that there's some magic dust, like magic hand waving that just goes, actually, here's this one like plot device we're just going to pull out of the ether and see everything's fine now. Because a lot of games like to do that instead of, actually ramping up the stakes like they're supposed to. But in this case, I think that's why it means so much, is especially that first third of the game before you get to around the point where that first kiss comes, where you see just the absolute bouts of grief that both characters have gone through, the amount of trauma both of them have gone through, losing their family members, the amount of abuse they've dealt with, like just so much shit that leads to them like being together as their lone solitude in all of this madness, and then seeing that actually flourish, only to know that it's going to dissolve before your very eyes at some point anyway. It's just a really interesting relationship to actually carry through.
Yeah,
I
that
think
is a
spoiled
good
Final
one.
Fantasy X. I'm not playing it.
Yeah, that was it. He had it installed and everything. Fuck. Actually, Adam, now that you mentioned it, where it was like, I don't think there's another Square game that had, like a relationship that hard and heavy. It actually made me think of one that wasn't on my list, but I'm going to now go with this one, which is Faye and Ellie in Xenogears. Because
See, I haven't played
the
that game, so I couldn't tell you.
Oh, well then you should close your ears as I talk about them because I won't spoil the actual
Dude, it's an
story
old
or
ass
anything.
game. You can spoil it. I don't care.
Okay.
What are they gonna do?
Uh,
Remake it as the Game Awards announces the remake in a week?
I would faint. I would run out of my own
You
way.
won't be here, I think.
I will be on a plane on my way back to pre-order.
So we're gonna hear a story about some Canadian fainting on a plane and scaring the crap out of all the passengers, and they'll be like, "What happened?" He's like, "They announced Xeno games."
Yeah.
Is that the game we're clamoring for?
Yeah, definitely.
he
No,
is.
it's not happening. They're not even going to remaster this thing. We're never seeing this game ever again. But Faye and Ellie, throughout the game, like they meet, and as the game goes on, they start to become more in love. But they keep having all these memories and like stuff of stuff, almost like they've met before, almost like there's a past and everything there. As the game progresses, you kind of learn that they actually have been fated to always be together, and they are constantly reincarnated throughout the years. Faye always has a different name. Ellie is always literally the exact same name and everything. So it's always somebody in Ellie, but it's always him. Like it's the exact same look, you can tell. And every single time their story ends in tragedy, one of them dies. And it is over and over and over. And you start learning about all the things they've been through. And it's this destiny of these two people who are like the first two people that were ever on this planet. Like a ship crashes there, she was alone. I don't remember where she came from. Something happens and he was the lone survivor on the ship, and it was actually them meeting that caused this chain reaction to always meet and always be together, even though it always ends in usually Ellie getting murdered brutally.
Because originally you were just saying, well, one of them dies. I'm like, well, of course one of them's gonna have to die at some point.
Yeah, no. Like dies like the most tragic Shakespearean shit where it's like one of them's about to be shot, so the other one jumps in front, and then it goes full anime where there's blood all over the screen, and it actually shows a little anime like JPEG. Like it does not hold back. And it's about obviously them going against God to face their fate and change it or whatever the heck. It's a JRPG. But the game focuses so much on their love story in a very good way, where it's not just that, but it's a lot like Final Fantasy X, where this love story is in the center of it, and it becomes the thing you care about the most, and the reason you need to basically destroy God or whatever is going to happen in the game is because of these two, and you've got to go through all this stuff so you can get there. And it's just so many of these like clips. It's also a game where they do sleep together. It doesn't like show a sex scene. It's a PS1 game, but like literally like him with no shirt on, putting his pants on, her in bed naked, like sitting up with like the blanket over her, like, oh, you're leaving? Like they finally get together, and now he has to leave to go do something, and it's like basically near the end of the game, and shit's gonna get fucking real. So it's a big build up that is just so good. It's actually a very well written game in my favorite art style, where it's like 2D characters in front of 3D environments. So highly suggest if anybody's into things. I used to listen to their love theme, the music, like on repeat all the time. I used to use it for like studying and relaxing. Such a good theme. I don't remember the name of it, but I'm probably going to listen to it.
It's one of those games that like
podcast.
I wish I'd gotten around to back in the old days when I was still playing so many JRPGs from those consoles, but it never was. But I've listened to different songs. Like that soundtrack is so goddamn good.
So good. And their love theme, some of the peak goodness in that, especially once you see all the past that they've gone through and been murdered, one of them murdered numerous times. You start to really feel that song like, oh my God, are they going to get murdered again? Oh, this sucks.
To which it's a Japanese RPG. There's always a relationship that has to be broken by a murder. That's just the rule.
Yeah. And they usually didn't they'd like each other. One's going to get married to someone else, murder, like just constantly like that. So it's a good one. It's very much a good one. Kaylan, what you got?
The last one I have, and neither of you are going to be able to talk about it, is V and Pan Am from Cyberpunk.
Already incorrect because it should be Judy. That's all I know.
Judy is a bummer. Now, I'm saying it. Judy's a bummer. Pan Am's awesome. I am pro Pan Am. She's fun. She's awesome. And I feel like that's the best ending in Cyberpunk if you can go for the Pan Am storyline. So, yeah. No further. I'm not going to say anything more because I want you guys to play it. But I am pro Pan Am. She like,
Well, clearly
Yeah.
I'm not going to at this rate.
yeah, no, I know that, but I'm doing it for Chris's benefit.
I mean, the ending I'm going for is with Idris Elba and Keanu Reeves ending up together. Is that?
I'm sure
Is
that'll
that
be a
an
mod
ending?
at some point.
Oh, it's out there. Oh, it's out there. Adam, what else you got?
Well, here's my conundrum. I don't want to spoil this relationship because you're playing through Trails now.
Don't worry, I'm not gonna miss it.
I was really worried about Kaylan getting this info too.
'Cause
If you
I'm
want, I
like-
can take my headphones off and you can talk.
Well, no, because I'm pretty sure you have an idea of what it's gonna be. Because I think
Is
if
it from-
you've already played through one of them, I think you already have a sense of like what that relationship's gonna end up being.
Oh, probably. Okay, so I think I know what you're talking about. Yeah. This is not a
Take
surprise.
it.
to me
I
at all.
want to know if you're on the right track. Take a guess. If you get on the first try, then I know you've already got the sense.
Joshua and Estelle?
No,
Or
actually.
Oh. Oh, is it Olivier and Shira? What's her name?
Yes.
Is it them? Yeah, of course it's fucking them.
Yeah.
Yeah,
so,
I knew it.
Okay,
that's
so
not
yeah, the
surprising.
fact that you caught on to that quickly means that you kind of get the sense of what they're doing.
Yeah.
Because the first game kind of makes it pretty obvious by the journey that it has that those two are probably going to be together because, as the rule is with a lot of games or a lot of stories in general, when two people get sloshed together, there's a pretty good chance they're going to stick together in the long term.
Yeah, that's actually a very
and
healthy.
that's like the first moment that you sort of get that sense is because for those that are unfamiliar to Trails, Olivier is this very, what's the word I can use, irritating human being that just walks around trying to be a bard and just literally does nothing but make really, really bad like romantic puns and basically gets in the way of everything. And finally he meets his match, which is this woman Sherazard, who is a badass, essentially like mercenary, who can drink like it's water, I'm pretty sure could just drink 10 bottles of tequila like it's nothing, and decides that they can't have Olivier join them on this one quest they're on, so they get him so drunk off his ass that there's no way he'll wake up. And when they're at the table drinking together, the fact that he's sitting there like just barely alive at this point, and she's just sitting there being like, she can go a few more rounds, and she's like still getting annoyed with him, like as drunken women do, where they just start like getting that really angry, like, why are you not doing, like that kind of like attitude, and eventually just goes, all right, another bottle please, and he goes, no, I can't do anymore. And who knew that, let's be honest, most people kind of caught right away that over the course of, I guess I'll spoil this for you, Chris, it takes all the way to the end of Trails 4 or of Cold Steel 4 for them to actually tie the knot.
Oh,
And that's what makes the story so cool, is that their journey has actually taken them through 3 arcs to get to their resolution, which I think is so cool because it happens in small doses too. Like in Cold Steel, there's a set of NPCs that slowly build their relationship through the 4 games as well. But then you talk about something that's literally had roots in the first game in that entire series and works their way to essentially now at this point, now we're just waiting to find out, when the first baby's coming. And that's really what just leads into somewhere down the road when the 16th Trails game suddenly puts another blonde figure and it's this little girl walking around with the ukulele, and now she's starting to imitate her father or something like that. So, but like that's a relationship that to me, honestly, I would put like as my highest one on the list because it has so much time developed into it. But again, that's also my personal bias going because Trails can literally do nothing wrong for me right now.
That's a good pick. She's my favorite character actually in so far in Trails. Like obviously I've got, I don't know, fucking 67 more games to go, but she is my favorite character so far. Very horny, but my favorite character. I think they may be directly
Look, based on that game, a lot
respects.
of people are, so it's not really surprising. That's like the two things that happen in the Trail series: a lot of war and a lot of fucking, or a lot of not fucking, potentially, depending on which character we're talking about.
Nice. As it should be. No, that's not at all. War is bad. The other part, that's fantastic. That's just love. It's just love. That's what this episode's about.
Isn't it great though that we do live in a society where like we seem to be more okay with war than we are with sex, which is insane.
Yeah.
Like, we're
I think
okay with
Hallmark
throwing
movies ruined it.
copious amounts of death and destruction on screen, but if there's a pair of tits on screen, we can't show that.
I think you can. I
Well, I
watch
mean,
it.
you can, but then just you're gonna get fined.
HBO's like, why not both?
Why not
That is
both?
true.
Here is Game of Thrones, and good day. For my next one, I need to ask both of you, have either of you or both of you played To the Moon?
No.
It sounds
To the
familiar, but
Moon.
I don't think I've played it.
It's like an RPG maker game where you go into the memories of people.
Okay, I know which one you're talking about, but yeah, I haven't played it.
All right, do either of you care about me spoiling
No,
a
'cause
little
there's
bit
no
of this
chance
game?
I'm
No,
getting into
I
that.
don't care about you spoiling this game I'd never heard of.
So this game
From 2011.
It's in an RPG. It's an RPG maker game, but it's actually one that's made very well. It's not an action-packed game. It is literally just story and mystery. And the idea is, and they've got multiple games now, there is a service that these people run where you go in to people's memories to change them. So in To the Moon, somebody is dying, and these people will come. They use a machine, go into your mind, and actually change your memories. So the last thoughts that you have, you actually think these new memories they're giving you are what your life really was. So you die happy. So already it's going in emotions 11 out of 10. Like, this guy's dying and he wants his memories changed so that when he dies, he thinks that's actually what his life was. Totally messed up concept, but kind of cool. But the idea is that as it starts going through, this main character's name is Johnny. It turns out that his wife, you're going through and changing everything, because you find out that his wife, who was special needs and he was in love with from the moment they were children and were together, always kind of like, will they, won't they, eventually get married. And her last thought was that she wanted to go to the moon. It meant something else in the game. I don't remember what it was. It was something she would say to him when they were together, and he never understood it. It meant something else. It was like a location that they had gone together. He didn't understand what she was talking about, when really it just meant like to go to this like lighthouse or something because the moon was there. And he never took her, and she died before he got the chance to actually figure out what the hell he meant, or she meant. So the story of his memories being changed was him and her literally in their life somehow going to the actual moon by like ending up on like a ship or something at the end. It's the most heart pulling, like gut wrenching story that unfolds. At first you think it's like this weird little mystery where it's like the memories, you can't unlock them, and it's like trying to change them. It's like, why does this guy want to go to the moon? What a weird final request. Like, he wants to be an astronaut and he never became one. You think that's what it's about. And then as it goes on and starts unlocking, it's like, wait, who's this girl he's meeting as a kid who's talking about going to the moon? Oh, that might be kind of related. And as it goes on and you find out what actually happened to this guy's life, you're just like, this did not need to be this. This is just emotions for the sake of it, and I'm here for it. And I can't believe this was the most intense 5 hours of my life. Like, highly suggested if you feel like just playing a really cheap game, because it's like not very expensive, I mean, of just story and emotions. It is so highly intense, like highly, highly intense. No other love story in a game have I seen get to this level of like cool. And if the game is so popular, the guy's got like 4 more games that have come out since then. Like, very similar idea, and it's always the same people running that service of like changing memories and everything. It's always about them going to someone new, and it's just like, how can this guy keep creating these games that are just designed to destroy you? It's like, oh, little mystery. Oh, never mind, my heart's dead now. Thank you for ripping my heart in half. Highly suggest. Highly, highly. Cheap. It's on PC. It's on Switch. I think it's everywhere. Yeah. So River and Johnny from To the Moon.
Cool.
That's my last one.
I'm tapped out too.
That's all I got.
All right,
Adam, how many you got? 17 more?
I've basically got fun ones left.
Nice. Fun ones. Let's do it. Let's end on a happier note than what I just talked about.
All
Yeah,
right,
way to bring us down there, Chris.
So I've got 3.
Right.
I got 3 silly ones. So Cloud and any of the 3 between Tifa, Aerith, and Jessie from the first remake so far, because all 3 of them are hilarious in their own way. Because, I mean, at this point, we haven't gotten deep enough to really see, like, where the actual relationships are building yet. All we know is Cloud and Jessie is just a horn dog fest.
Yes.
Cloud and Aerith is only funny because Aerith getting to dress Cloud as a basically cross-dresser is just really what we've got so far, and it's great. And then Cloud and Tifa is just mostly them awkwardly, like, being around each other and just shuffling like they're 14-year-olds that have never been in a relationship before. So they all have their own, like happy, like, lighthearted sweetness to it that you're just like, aw, none of you have any intent know what the hell you're doing, do you?
That's a good pick, but people can't be that attractive and that awkward being around other people, especially attractive
technically,
people.
Jessie knows exactly what she wants. Just Cloud's too goddamn stupid.
She is extremely, like, self-aware. Never mind, Jessie, I take that back. She knows what's up.
I mean, that's why Jessie is the best out of the 3, because at least Jessie knows what the fuck she's looking for. She's like, right off the bat, she just goes, keep those baby blues on me. You know where she's looking already, so she's got her eyes. She knows exactly what she wants. Well, I suppose she wants more than just the baby blues, but hey.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure they got to keep the dialogue classy enough that they don't get a different rating.
Don't make this weird, Adam.
They didn't have to. Jessie made it weird enough if you play the game.
No, she offered pizza. It's fine.
Yes.
Actual pizza, I think.
Yes.
I don't know.
That's what the kids are calling it these days.
Is this like a Princess Peach cake situation again?
Well, like when she says to come to her house for never mind.
Don't make it weird, Adam. That's not that's
asking
podcast.
me to do it. So I'll go from I'll find it. You don't want me to go weird? Let's talk about Joker from Mass Effect and basically a fembot in EDI in the Mass Effect series, where it's not necessarily implied they're in a relationship, but let's be kind of honest, those two are built for each other. Because it's basically Joker and the ship's autopilot now being put into an actual form, and Joker has been arguing with the AI for the entirety of the series, and they're like, what if we put her in an Austin Powers level fembot body? And we all just go, so you're basically giving Joker a relationship finally. Got it. And then last but not least, it's my personal favorite. Again, why I suggest people playing Fire Emblem Awakening, because you get to ship people constantly. My favorite pairing is the characters Gaius and Tharja, and for those who are unaware of these characters, Gaius is essentially one of your thief characters, and he is a sarcastic motherfucker who just apparently likes to give candy all the time. It's not what you think it is, don't worry about it. Literally in the mobile game, I don't know if the game's still running anymore, but like, when they did a summer edition, his swimsuit was just board shorts with like wrapped like candies and lollipops on them. So I guess he just really likes sugar. But they put him with a character named Tharja, who is the creepiest, stalkiest like woman ever on the planet. She's basically what we in the anime world call a yandere, which is essentially a girl that's sweet that's actually like kind of sweet initially until you get to her evil side, except Tharja forgot about the sweet part. She's just creepy the entire time around. Like, she literally, if like the main character goes after her, if you try to ship the main character with her, it's basically a series of her wanting to perform experiments on him because she's just looking for like a guinea pig to test all of her magic on, and just eventually that turns to a relationship. But with Gaius, they end up complimenting each other in a weird way, because Gaius' sarcastic nature and her creepiness just seem to mesh, because they both don't really know what to do with each other, because they're like, wait, you're not reacting to my stuff. What the fuck? I'm not used to this. And they're both trying to, like, in a sense, trying to like feel each other out, to try to figure out how to like get under the other's skin, and it doesn't work. So it's almost reverse psychology. They have to try to figure out how to deal with that, and I kind of just like that. But it's one of those things that, like, I tried my best in Fire Emblem to go for the ones that made the most sense. And then there's those two where I go, this makes no sense. They are horrible for each other, but it's so goddamn funny to watch. And I think that's kind of the beauty. Like, I like that games do that too, because sometimes it's just better to not pick the option that actually makes sense and to pick the dumbest possible pairing, because you just want to see how the hell that makes any sense together. Not everything can be Nathan Drake, Elena Fisher. Sometimes you have to have Nathan Drake and Sully. I don't know. Let's see how it works.
You just want to get weird. I'm battling with a cold and did not mean to come out as sultry as it sounded.
It was so sultry.
Stay
It is
tuned
the
for
romance
for
podcast.
the side quest that doesn't exist for this week because it's going to be the Rule 34 podcast.
No, nope. I am not attending that one.
No, you're right. Instead, it's just going to be me streaming during the Game Awards. Fine.
Pixel Play After Dark. Anyways, I think that about wraps it up, guys. I think best way to close this one is congratulations, Chris. We're
Thank
really
you.
happy for you. And yeah, hopefully, years and years of happiness and everything. Don't clap for yourself. That's weird. Don't do that.
Well, Adam was clapping. I was just clapping for Adam for clapping for me. It's a
I can't do it. All right, that's where we're gonna wrap this one up. Thank you so much for joining us, ladies and gentlemen. If you like that and you want to hear more, we post every Wednesday at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you're watching it before Friday, before the Game Awards, Adam's going to be streaming live during the Game Awards. So hop on YouTube Live. Come check it out. Keep him company, and you guys can talk about all of the game announcements that come out. If you want to jump into the Discord and wish Chris congratulations, you can do that by finding us on Discord at linktr.ee/PixelPlay Podcast. You can join us there. You can reach us out on the socials and reach out to Chris and wish him luck. Chris, am I using your wedding as a way to kind of bolster our Discord numbers? You absolutely bet. I am shameless.
I was
like that.
hoping you would. I would do the exact same thing.
Fantastic. See, this is why we get along so well. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, we will see you guys all next week. Have yourself a wonderful day. Bye for now.